I'm in you, you're in me. We're two branches on just one tree. Look around, all you see is part of you and part of me. 'Cause we're two branches on just one tree. On just one tree. I look in your heart and I see me. One more time. I'm in you, you're in me. We're two branches on just one tree. Look around, all you see is part of you and part of me. We're two branches on just one tree. We're two branches on just one tree.
Thank you. Fabulous. Love it.
Good morning and welcome to Unity of Walnut Creek on this beautiful day. Thank you for being here. Just such a pleasure to be here with you.
And I'm Laurel Patterson, and together we're Laurel and Hardy. Woo-hoo! Welcome. We're so glad that you're here.
We want to greet and bless everyone who is watching online. Your presence adds to our spiritual community, and we are grateful you are with us. Thank you for joining us. Please join me in welcoming our featured musicians this morning. We got to hear them open up. All right. The Mamas and the Daughtas, Lisa Snortum-Phelps, Lisa Langille, Zoe Snortum-Phelps, and Allie Pickersgill. Yeah. All right. Just terrific. Joined by Tyler on keyboards, Dusty on bass, Mason on drums, and thank you for sharing your music today, and thank you for that wonderful prelude by Diane.
Thank you. Reverend Kristen will deliver today's message entitled Many Colors of the One. This is the second in a two-part series.
And before we begin, I invite you to turn your cell phones to off or stun or to airplane mode so we can enjoy this sacred service together and disconnect for a little while and just be together.
And now let's take a moment to be grateful for the land that our center rests upon. This is Bay-Miwok and Ohlone land.
And we honor the Bay-Miwok and Ohlone people of today and are grateful for those who came before us as stewards of this land. We commit to taking care of these sacred native grounds and Mother Earth.
Unity is a positive path for spiritual living. Our vision for the world is, and let's say this together, it's up on the screen. We envision a spiritually awakened world where all life thrives in conscious oneness.
And our mission is who we have come here to be. Together, we are a loving, inclusive community, expanding and living our divinity in sacred service for all. And our core values are love, connection, service, and wisdom.
And now I'd like the ushers to come forward with the welcome packets. And if you're here with us for the first time, welcome. If you feel comfortable, please raise your hand so we can give you a welcome packet. Are there any newcomers today? We've got one that already has a welcome packet. Welcome. So in addition to information about Unity, that packet also includes a $10 coupon, which you can use to attend a class or other event at Unity, and I hope you'll use that. And after the service, we invite you to the Welcome Center Bookstore Cafe across the patio, where you will also receive another welcome gift. And I hope you choose to stay for coffee and to help visit, or to stay and visit with us, so we can get to know you better.
All right. And connection cards are available in the newcomer welcome packets. Oh, they've got you.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. They're in the seat pockets in front of you. These are for everyone. Nice job, Vanna. With this card, you may submit a prayer request and the prayer team will pray with you throughout the week. You can put that into the basket.
So the card is also used for sharing feedback or requesting information. And for those viewing online, there is a connection card available on the Watch Live page of our website. We have several announcements, activities to highlight this week.
Yeah.
Timber Hawkeye says mindfulness won't make other people less irritating. but it will make you less irritable. Learn more from this best-selling author and founder of Buddhist Boot Camp on June 22nd. Explore mindfulness as the gap between impulse and response, and discover tools for cultivating inner peace. Enjoy a thought-provoking talk, discussion, and Q&A focused on emotional clarity, compassion, and intentional living. Don't miss this free opportunity to deepen your spiritual practice.
All right, when is that?
That is on June 22nd.
All right, fantastic. And then we get to celebrate Pride Month also today and every day this month. And with us is the Interfaith Council of Contra Costa County at our Blessed and Bold gathering on Tuesday, June 24th at 6:45 p.m. Don't be late. This event welcomes congregations and individuals of all faith traditions to come together in love, unity, and affirmation of the LGBTQIA+ community. I'm so glad you wrote that out. Enjoy a simple soup dinner with discussion, stories, a video, music, poetry, and a ceremony on our wonderful labyrinth. Come be a part of this sacred celebration of healing, pride, and interfaith solidarity.
That sounds like a great time. That sounds like a great event.
Yeah.
And now I'd like Reverend Kristen to come to the platform to share an announcement.
Oops.
Good morning, everyone. Good to see your smiling faces, as always. I'm really excited to tell you about a workshop that's happening this coming Saturday with my teacher, Zuza Engler. Way back when I went on sabbatical last year, I was in Costa Rica and kind of spontaneously went to this workshop, this retreat, and it was about conscious movement called Soul Motion. Little did I know, Zuza Engler was a Bay Area teacher, and a lot of the participants were from the Bay Area as well. So all year I've been involved in her program, her year-long program, and she's coming here on Saturday. So I can't wait to share with you these teachings and this teacher who's really phenomenal, who's got a strong somatic therapy background. And you don't have to be a dancer. I mean, if you love to dance, great. But if you just want to move, because there's a lot that can happen in movement. A lot has happened for me throughout the year, and grounding more in my body and my emotions as a result of this work. And it's still also very spiritual work. So I hope you'll join us this Saturday from 4 to 6:30. Again, you can move as much or as little as you want. We have the folding chairs if you want to just do subtle movement and even be seated. It's for all bodies, all abilities. Zuza's music is phenomenal, so that's really fun too. And you can sign up today and save $5, and we have a minimum of 12 people need to sign up. So if you are thinking about doing it, please do go ahead and sign up today in the bookstore. And if you don't know where the bookstore is, it's straight across the patio. So I look forward to moving with you on Saturday, a different way for us to be together. And now, as we move into our time of meditation, I want to invite David Peterson forward. David has a special poem to share, the theme of our month, really. Yeah. Right after the poem, we'll go into that. Thank you, though. Thanks for the prompt.
Am I on? Yeah, there we go. This is called Your Beautiful Rainbow, appropriate for the month. The song you sing, the talent you display, the pearl powder you scatter, your abilities you repeat, your internal volume of your sheet music within you, your power you present, internally repeating inside the magic you shed, slowly, gently coming out of your closet.
Thank you, David. I invite us to say our statement of affirmation together, and then we'll flow into some music, guidance, and silence together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God.
who sing along. Feel free to sing along if that helps you sink into meditation. Hello. Oh, wow. That's really going to help our meditation, isn't it? And I tuned the guitar right before service. All right, hang on. That's the one. Hey, string, what you doing there? That's not very pretty. Yeah. I'm on the wrong. Okay. This is very exciting. This is when I'm supposed to have some wonderful story to tell. Wow. Just want you to know that all of our songs today, we really enjoyed choosing them, especially for Pride Month. And this is one. There we go. This is one that really spoke to us. All right. And you may know it, and you sing along. I just love the irony that the time that I actually tuned, something happened. Trixie. We're almost there. Almost there. Dusty, this has never happened to you, right? Dusty's always perfectly in tune. Okay, here we go. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How deeply you're connected to my soul.
And so let us sink into our hearts, into that space of everlasting connection with the one and with the many expressions of the one all around. Created in love, the truth of your soul is that you are love itself, beautiful in your expression. Imagine, if you will, for a moment, your reflection, perhaps in a body of water or in a mirror. And as you look into your own eyes, behold for a moment all the places you have been, the long and winding journey that has brought you to this moment. Can you see the beauty of your own soul in that reflection? No one created quite like you. And yet created from the same divine intelligence of the universe that made everything. The magnificence of the plants and the animals and the human family, the earth itself, stars above and the planets all around, the cosmos. That which we know of and is yet to be discovered. The immense beauty, the light and the love all contained right here within your own reflection. I am made of love, and I am beautiful exactly as I am. I invite you to take that into your heart for a few moments of silence. Now imagine if you can see yourself in this way. How as you glance up from your own reflection and begin to look around, you see beauty everywhere. Wholeness. See the diversity of life in its collective perfection. The joy of that diversity, the many expressions and colors and forms and shapes. Just beholding that beauty for a moment, remembering it when you go out into the world. To greet new people with the same kind of gaze that you looked into that reflection. The same kind of beholding now that you see beauty. We thank you, Spirit, for the eyes to see in this way, with depth and expansion, celebration, an embracing of all of creation. For the joy it brings our hearts to be liberated in this way, to include. Thank you, Spirit, for nourishing our beings with diversity and beauty. And so it is.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How deeply you're connected to my soul. $525,600 minutes, 525,000 moments so dear, 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? In daylights, in sunsets, in midnights, in cups of coffee, in inches, in miles, in laughter and strife, in 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year in the life? How about love? light. In visions we burn, all the way that she died.
It's time now to sing out, though the story never ends. Let's celebrate, remember a year in the life of friends.
Remember the
love. Remember the love. Remember the love. Measure in love.
seasons of love.
Seasons of love.
Remember the
Love. Remember the love. Remember the love. Measure in love. Seasons of love. Seasons of love. Seasons of love. Seasons of love.
All right, all right. That'll wake you up, huh? So last week we talked about Joseph, the story of Joseph. We're continuing today, and his coat of many colors. And also we're, of course, celebrating Pride, so, hence the rainbow sleeves. I hope it's not too distracting for you. I trust you'll tell me if it is. So the story of Joseph is in the book of Genesis, and it spans 50 chapters, so it's quite a lot. I won't cram it all in, but I do want to tell you some parts of the story. And it parallels really nicely with the queer community story, the collective queer community story, and I think you'll see some parallels as we go. It also connects for all of us in the idea of our authenticity, our realness, our soul expression, our colorful expression, our diversity, our value of inclusivity, our practices of inclusivity, and our shared gifts and our individual, unique gifts. There's so much in this story. And one of those gifts that we all share is the power of imagination, which in and of itself is a colorful idea, isn't it? Because if you think about children and imagination, and the use of color, it allows us to begin to expand our palette and also expand the possibilities of what we can be, what we can become, what our relationships can be, what our world can be. That's what the power of imagination taps for all of us. Joseph was a dreamer. That's how his power of imagination came forward. And Charles Fillmore, our co-founder, was also a dreamer. Did you know that some of the formative ideas of unity came, or the direction came from Charles' dreams? He received a dream that guided him specifically to stay in Kansas City, and he was guided up and down the streets of where that they would land, specifically in Kansas City. And it was at a time that he and Myrtle were contemplating moving because of her health. So that guidance, they followed that dream. And later he dreamed the name Unity. And so therefore our namesake came out of his own power of imagination that manifested in dreams. Is anybody here a big night dreamer? Is that a big piece of your journey? Yeah, there's quite a few in the room. So, I mean, all of us dream, of course, but some of us really pay more attention and really get a lot of our guidance from our dreams. For others, it may be waking visions, things that come out of meditation. It might be using the power of visualization and art. I'm looking at Bob, an artist sitting in the front row that uses a lot of color and art and imagery in that way. So there's various ways, right, for each of us that we might plug into this power, but we all have it. We all have the power to imagine. It's located in the first, I like to call it the first eye, the third eye. And it's this idea of the ability to vision, to open ourselves to divine ideas, to dwell in possibility, to create and to co-create. As a boy, Joseph had his own dreams, and his dreams were about a future where he was a very powerful man. And his brothers all acknowledged him and respected him, which was kind of a dream for him as the youngest at that time, who didn't get a lot of respect, he didn't feel like. He got a lot of respect from his father, but his brothers were jealous of him. And Joseph also was very skilled at interpreting dreams. This was a part of his skill and how it manifested. So Joseph's brothers, just to recap a little bit of the story, some of you heard last week, some of you know the story already, his brothers were so jealous of him that they sold him into slavery. And he ended up in Egypt, where then later he was wrongly accused of a crime and he was imprisoned as well. So his ticket to freedom out of prison was his gift of interpreting dreams. How it happened was when he was in prison, the butler of the Pharaoh had been in prison as well. The Pharaoh just got mad at the butler and the baker one day, and down to the dungeon they went. And they happened to meet Joseph, and they had some dreams. And Joseph interpreted them, and they came true. Their lives unfolded exactly according to the way that Joseph told them what the dream meant. So, Joseph says to the butler, remember me. Tell everybody about me when you get up there so I can get out of here. Well, the butler doesn't remember for 2 years until the Pharaoh has these dreams. And he has 2 very significant dreams. And he calls in all the magicians of the land. He calls in all the wise ones of the land to see if they can interpret his dream. But nobody seems to be able to interpret it to his satisfaction. They give him some ideas, and he goes, yeah, that doesn't resonate, doesn't feel true, doesn't feel, like I don't get it. I still don't get it. So he's asking, and finally the butler says, hey, this guy Joseph, he's in prison, and so bring him up. So they bring him up from the dungeon, and Joseph is, shaved and changed and all cleaned up to see the Pharaoh. And he walks in, and the Pharaoh says, I'm hoping that you can interpret my dream. And he said, I can't do it, but God can. So the Pharaoh says, okay, so here's the thing. In my dream, the first dream, because I had to, was I was standing on a riverbank. And he says, and out of the Nile come 7 fat, really healthy-looking cows. And they go up on the riverbank and they start grazing. And then behind them come up 7 other cows, but they're lean and they're scrawny and they're ugly. And he says, and those 7 scrawny cows eat the big fat cows, but you can't tell that they ate anything. They still look scrawny and lean and ugly. And then I woke up. He says, so then I have this other dream. And in the second dream, there are 7 heads of grain. And they are good, and they are full, and they are coming like out of a single stalk. And then there's another group of 7 grains, but those grains are thin and lean, and the sun scorches them, and the wind starts to cause them to fall away. But even in their scrawniness, they kind of gobble up the big, good, full grain. So tell me, Joseph, what do my dreams mean? And Joseph says the 2 dreams are one and the same. The 7 cows and the 7 full heads of grain are 7 years. And the 7 lean cows, scrawny cows, and the scorched and thin blow-away grain are the following 7 years that come next. And he said there will be 7 years. God is showing you, Pharaoh. There will be 7 years of abundance, followed by 7 years of famine. And the Pharaoh, this is resonating for him. This seems true. And he says, you had 2 dreams because of the significance of the dream to get your attention, because this is going to happen, and it's going to happen soon. Anybody ever have recurring dreams? Yeah. So we have those recurring dreams because Spirit is saying, pay attention. Pay attention. Sometimes it'll be kind of the same dream with a little bit different context, right? But it seems like it's kind of the same idea or the same feeling. Now, I don't mean to scare you, because if you're having scary recurring dreams, it might be that it's just about pay attention to the fear. Pay attention to what it is that you are feeling so uneasy about so you can address it. And so this is what seems to happen in this case. Then Joseph is bold enough then to give the Pharaoh some advice on stewardship. He says, what you should do is appoint commissioners across the land and put one person who's very wise and discerning at the head of it. And he said, during the years of abundance, make sure that a fifth or more of the harvest is taken and stored up so that when the famine comes, the people will not starve. It all makes sense to him. Pharaoh looks over his consultants and he says, sounds like a good plan. Where will I find such a wise and discerning man? Can you imagine? He says, the Spirit is obviously with you, Joseph, and you are wise. I appoint you to this position. So it's really interesting. We'd never predict it, right? Here's this young boy, the beautiful dreamer, who is ostracized and abused by all his older brothers, sold into slavery after they decide they won't kill him after all. And he's become the nourisher of a whole land of people. So how is it that these things happen in a lifetime, right? You can probably think of times in your own life or the people around you where some circumstances that seemed pretty lousy to start with, if you looked in the long haul, the long run of that lifetime or your own lifetime, you see that unpredictable, amazing things occurred. And that is part of the story of Joseph that comes out of the imagination and the possibilities that can happen for us, even in adversity. So when we stay true to Spirit, when we stay true to ourselves, we become nourishers of our own souls and of those around us, like that concept of the wounded healer. When famine came then, Joseph was not only the nourisher of all the people in Egypt, but even the surrounding lands, because famine was everywhere. And so even people from his home country were coming, the Israelites, and including his own family. So the day of reckoning comes, because Jacob, the father of all these boys, including Joseph, says to the rest of his sons when famine comes in the land, why are you all just sitting around looking at each other? He said, we're hungry here, and there's food in Egypt. Go on and get it for our family. And so they travel to Egypt. And lo and behold, who is there to give them the food? But they don't recognize him. They think their brother is long gone and dead. And so Joseph decides to conceal himself and his identity. Has anybody in the queer community ever concealed your identity? I have. Has anybody in the room ever hidden a part of yourself? Yeah. Repressed some aspect of yourself for whatever reasons, out of fear or anxiety, about not being accepted or belonging, as we talked about last week. There are many ways that we do this and many reasons. Can you remember maybe a time when you were less than honest in a relationship? Anybody? I hear just a couple of them. So lots of honest folks in the house. But the story, among its many spiritual lessons, is about truthfulness. It's about forthrightness. It's about being who we are and allowing people to be who they are and being real with each other. So in this very long story, the last of the chapters, there's about 7 or 8 chapters that are continued drama between the brothers and Joseph. It goes back and forth, it's long and drawn out, and basically it's an expose on the futility of deception. Because no real progress is made. No real satisfaction comes because the deception continues in its various ways. Have you experienced that kind of thing? Have you been in relationships or in a world where you see deception going on? And you say, well, no real progress gets made here. No real satisfaction for the people is made when there's so much deception. Anybody relate to that in the world these days? It's like, what news source do we rely on anymore? Because there's just so much of this fabricated stuff going on out there. I was walking the trails yesterday, and somebody has written all these. I highly recommend walking Contra Costa Trail because somebody has written all these really positive, you've seen them, really positive messages, probably a Unity person, or somebody we should invite in. But one of the things that, one of the things that they wrote was, let's make lying wrong again. Yeah, it's good stuff. It's everywhere, right? The goodness is everywhere. The trueness of who we are is everywhere. It's just we get lost. We step off the path somehow, or we get jarred off the path somehow, and then we just seem to lose our way a little bit, and we lose sight of who we are. We lose sight of that spirit that is the truth of who we are. We lose sight of our unification with the divinity in us. It's not that it ever can get disconnected, but we lose sight, and we forget. And we begin to forget a little bit of who we are, and then we begin to slide a little bit into that way of being that is deceptive. And there's lots of antics and drama that goes with that. But is it really, we think it's fun initially, but is it really fun? Does it lead to fulfillment? Does it lead to satisfaction? No, like in the story, it doesn't. It doesn't until Joseph reveals his identity again. And when he does, there is at first disbelief, right? As you can imagine. And then there is this beautiful reconciliation. There's hugging, there's weeping, there's love. There's literally brotherly love going on, right? When the brothers get back together, love is flowing again. Why we choose to stop the flow of love ever in the first place is a little bit of a mystery, isn't it? We can understand the reasons that led us there, but knowing what we know on the spiritual path, the idea that we would ever let the love stop or try to stop it up or get out of the flow somehow is a little bit mysterious, especially knowing what you know now on your journey in life, right? Knowing all the things that you've been through in your life, the kinds of relationships you've been in, the ones that are most fulfilling are the ones that are marked by honesty and authenticity and truthfulness and forthrightness and kindness and love, right? And so it might take us a while to get to that point for various reasons, for deep hurts that occur in a lifetime or between people. But if we can hold fast to the ideal that we want to be in that place and get truthful and real for ourselves, then maybe things will reconcile the way we would imagine them to in this beautiful way that Joseph and his brothers came back together. And maybe the reconciliation will happen in some other kind of way. We won't really ever know until we try. But it can happen. Fulfilling results can happen. It may not be immediate. It took 50 chapters of Genesis for this to happen. But the truth does indeed set us free. Doesn't it? Don't you find that to be true? The truth always sets us free. It gets exhausting to get into the world of deception because it's like, oh yeah, I don't remember. I was supposed to not say that to so-and-so. And then, it's just like this whole confusion of deception. And it's like, can't we just all be real? Can't we just all be forthright and honest and truthful and put it all on the table and love each other for who we are? And love each other through our mistakes. Because that's a big part of what this story is about. It's where it ends in the end with the famous ending of forgiveness that many of you probably know about. The brothers finally come to Joseph and they confess their abuse and they say how sorry they are for all that they put him through. And They even throw themselves on the ground just to add a little drama and say, "We will be your slaves." But Joseph says, "Oh, no, guys, stand up, please. You meant it for evil. You meant it for harm. But God intended it for good all along. Don't be afraid," he says. Am I in the place of God? He says, God intended it to accomplish all of the good that you see around you now. What is now being done, the saving of so many lives. That wouldn't have happened, right? Had this all not happened to us and for us. So then don't be afraid, he said. I will nourish you and your little ones. So there's this, I love that last line. It's just, it goes into the future, this forgiveness. It goes into the lines of descendants. Because when we forgive, when we reconcile, when we turn to love, when we get real, when we stand in that place of truth, then that paves the way for the next generation and the next generation and the next generation, instead of teaching the generations how we maneuver, how we are deceptive, how we get what we want through these backdoor channels. And Joseph's saying, oh no, look, guys, it was hard at first. It was heartbreaking, I'm sure, for Joseph. We don't ever hear him say that, but I imagine it was. And yet, look at what has happened. So it's an encouragement to see the long game, and that's what the power of imagination allows us to do. It's not just about what's going to happen today or tomorrow or next week. It's the long game. It's like, if I do this and we together do this, we are moving toward a vision of the kind of world we want to live in. We're moving toward, we in our maybe even just one individual relationship are bringing forth a kind of energy that we want other people to be able to feel in the world and experience in the world, and the kind of world we want to live in. And so we see this one heart at a time, then two hearts at a time, then groups and families and communities, and pretty soon we have shifted ourselves out of those old ways of being, those old ruts that we used to get in, and we're in that place where, guess what? Lying is made wrong again. Because nobody wants to do it anymore, because everybody sees that it's not beneficial anymore. It's about truth-telling. It's about the power of imagination to say we don't need that stuff. We can go to the place that we imagine, where all life thrives in conscious oneness. We can live into that. We can all be a part of loving and inclusive communities. We can, in fact, create a world that is loving and inclusive, expanding and living our divinity so that we are in service to everyone, to each other. We can be the mission and the vision that Unity holds and become it in the world by starting with ourselves and then every individual person we are in relationship with. Where in your life is there some cleaning up to do? Where in your life are there some broken arms to the relationships or cords or connections heart to heart that you might be able to restore? I know it takes two or more to decide this, but you can do your part. And what is your part that you might take a hold of or step into? Using the power of your imagination, using truthfulness, honesty, and perhaps forgiveness as well. So the nourishment, this idea of soul nourishment, it can often come out of adversity. I mean, it's a fact. We're gonna deal with adversity in our lives. I know sometimes we think like Unity and New Thought, we're only going to hear about the happy clappy part, right? But you can't get to the happy clappy part in a real way unless you face adversity and experience pain. I mean, it's not that everything requires adversity and pain, but in a lifetime, there will be some adversity, there will be some pain. And that's what causes us to grow. That's what allows the breakthrough. That what jars us out of our world of everything is perfect into really feeling it and living it in a deeper way, a deeper love, a deeper understanding. It's about choosing love, really, isn't it? You know, when we have conflict, we return to love. Whether that conflict is within ourselves or with others, when there's a shift, it's a return to love. It's a choice of love that we make again and again. And that's actually what Pride Month is all about. It's about love. It's about loving who we love. It's about self-love. And it's about allowing others and affirming others in their loving who they love and loving themselves and expressing themselves and allowing it all to be good. As God said when the creation happened in Genesis, at the beginning of Genesis, right? Everything that was created then was proclaimed good. So who makes us the judge to look around and to say, oh, that person's different from me, therefore not good? It's not the way it's intended. It's not what Spirit is about. It's not what love is about. And it's not what we're about at Unity. So this Pride Month that is about love is, yes, it is about love between, it is about gender expression. It is about relationships and who we love and the idea that love is love. And it's for all of us. It has goodness for all of us. This idea of the joy of being who we are and allowing the freedom for one another to be that. And the freedom and the liberation that we experience by being that, being that kind of space for other people. And Pride is about community. And I am proud to be a part of a community that is so much about diversity and inclusivity, that is so affirming of everyone and all of our various quirks and gifts, right? Come as you are and be loved. That's what I hope is really the ethos of our community and the experience that people have. To love and to be loved in a space freely and unconditionally. That is the ultimate, isn't it? This is a kind of place where we are unified and strengthened by our diversity and can hold that kind of vision then for other places all around the world and for the world itself to become that, to live into that, to grow into that. I'm so grateful for our co-founders that they didn't give up on their dreams or we wouldn't be here. And what about you? What dreams are you holding? What dreams are in your heart? Don't give up. Whatever you are envisioning through the power of imagination, it can be so. And please know that whether feast or famine comes, that this community is a place where you can always get spiritual nourishment. A place to come and to be refilled and to nourish your own soul and to learn skills to keep nourishing your own soul. So Joseph's story has a lot in it, obviously. We've covered it in 2 weeks, and we probably could have covered it in 10. But, it drills down to these basic ideas that all really meld together and weave together in a really beautiful way. And the idea that how we nourish our soul, how we stay true to Spirit, which Joseph emulated throughout his story, is by engaging our imagination. It is also by telling the truth, and it is about forgiving. So as we move forward throughout the celebration of this month and our lives, whatever is up in our lives and in our world, let's affirm these ideas that were given to us in this story. I invite you to say this with me. I nourish my soul and all my relations by being imaginative, honest, and forgiving. And so it is.
thank you, Reverend Kristen. And I want to remind us to come as you are and be loved right here at Unity. Thank you.
Our prayer chaplains are available after the service to provide personal prayer support. If you are a prayer chaplain serving today, please stand. They are wearing the purple stoles.
Whether you have a joy or a concern in your heart today, praying with our prayer chaplains is a powerful opportunity to have your intentions raised up in consciousness. And these people in the purple stoles live to serve. Let them serve you. If you've never had a time with a prayer chaplain, please go and see them because they live for this. And thank you so much.
All right, so now let's open our hearts to the practice of giving.
Woohoo!
I invite you to prepare your gifts as we align with the universal law of circulation. We should know this one, right? As we give, we shall receive. In truth, there is no lack or limitation. Abundance is our true nature.
And for your convenience, there are a variety of ways to financially give to this community. And they're shown on the screen. For those of you watching online, there is a donate button on the Watch Live page. And we encourage everyone to set up regular and automatic giving to Unity using your bank's free bill pay service.
So with that, I invite you to take your heartfelt love, intentions, and openness, your tithe, and the offering in your hand, in your heart, and to repeat our affirmation with me together. Divine love, one with me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful.
And so it is. We are so grateful for your generosity.
All right, here is a little something for someone with a lot of imagination who encouraged us to embrace diversity and love ourselves.
My mama told me when I was young, we're all born superstars. She rolled my hair and put my lipstick on in the glass of her boudoir. There's nothing wrong with loving who you are, she said, 'cause God made you perfectly. So hold your head up, girl, then you'll go far. Listen to me when I say I'm beautiful in my way, 'cause God makes no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't hold yourself in regret, just love yourself and you're set. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Ooh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way. Born this way. Ooh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't be a drag, just be a queen.
Don't be a drag, just be a queen.
Don't be a drag, just be a queen.
Just be, just be, just be.
Give yourself prudence and love your friends. Come on, let's rejoice our truth. Even if I'm feeling insecure, I must be myself, respect my youth. A different lover is not a sin. We know that God loves us all. I love my life, I love this record, and I'm gonna stand up proud and tall. I'm beautiful in my way, 'cause God makes no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't hide yourself in regret, just love yourself and you're set. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Ooh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way. Born this way. Ooh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Right track, baby, I was born this way. No, there this way.
Wow, wow. That did not look like an easy song to sing, but you sure had fun doing it. And we had fun listening, didn't we? Oh, thank you, Spirit, for the abundant good, the abundant love and joy that is present in this room and our hearts. May it continue to expand out from these walls and these windows and these hearts and these hands and these eyes out into the world so that those who are needing an uplift, a reminder of who they are, the truth of who they are, a reflection of the beauty in them, that they may receive it as a result of those who are right here living these truths. Let's bless this together, knowing it expands as a goodness of prosperity in so many ways. Together, we give thanks for the ever-increasing, constant flow of absolute good in our lives now. So it is.
Let's bring in the kids.
We are a circle of love. We are a circle of light. Come join the circle of love. Come join the circle of light. The light in you and the light in me are one. The light in you and the light in me are one.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. I'm Shayna, and I'm covering for Michelle as she is out today. And today we learned about we read a book called The Tree of Goodness, and Katie's going to tell us a couple of things that trees do for us.
So trees give us shade when it's really hot, and they provide oxygen.
Does anybody else want to say what trees are good for? Anybody? No? All right. But that was the lesson today.
Beautiful. Thank you. And all the kids were together in one?
Yeah.
Ah, nice. Okay.
We had one big group today.
Wonderful. Well, let's bless them all together, shall we? Children, youth, and teachers, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divine light within you.
All right. We're going to close out with our closing song. Please rise in body or in spirit. And you can put your hands on your heart, or if you like to hold hands, make sure the person next to you wants to hold hands.
Wherever I am, God is. Wherever you are, God is. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever you are, God is. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well. And all is well.
You are the power of imagination, truth-telling, and forgiveness on earth right now. So let your light shine. Have fun and spread joy.